I've been in the market for a good battery charger for a long time. Going around town, checking out the auto parts store, like all the different big box stores, I was just not pleased with what they had to offer for a battery charger. Like everything nowadays is geared towards like the automatic battery charger, or the battery charger that's just really small, like the homeowner would have. Um, like the Schumacher's, they make a great product, but I don't want that. I wanted something more commercial, more cranking amperages, and I wanted to have something that can charge my old 6-volt batteries for my old tractors, and also 12-volt batteries. And I needed something with a whole lot of cranking amperage, because I've got tons of vehicles with the big 1,000 cold cranking amp batteries. Like my semi truck has 4 of them. So if that thing ever needs a boost, like what am I going to boost it with? So anyway, I've been in the market for a long time for a good battery charger. I've done probably 10 hours worth of research. I've looked at all the associated battery chargers, and I like those. They're great, but they just didn't have a lot of options for 6 volt. So the associated 6002B, I actually used to use these a lot when I was a diesel mechanic in a prior garage years and years ago. Those are great battery chargers, but I couldn't bring myself to spend $1,300 on a battery charger. Don't get me wrong, they're awesome. So I stumbled upon another battery charger, which I want to show you guys. I think it's great. It's kind of obscure for what it is, but it's been around for a long time. So let me show you guys what I got. This is what I bought here, guys. An Autometer Tower of Power. This is an upright battery charger, weighs roughly 50 pounds. This is model number WC7028. Now, I've bought an Autometer gauges in the past, like for some of my diesel truck builds and some of my hot rods over the years. And Autometer has always been a premium brand. They're based right out of Illinois, which is pretty darn cool. In today's day and age, a lot of companies are moving out of town, going overseas. But this is an awesome battery charger, and I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll show you why I bought it. This is, in case you couldn't tell, an Autometer product. I'll get this thing unbagged here for you. But as you can see, Tower of Power. These things have been around for a long time, and I never really have seen them, but this was about $400 shipped to the door, like I said before. And look at what it will do here. 280 amp engine start on 12 volt. 6 volt will do 150 amp start, which that is an awesome feature to have for 6 volt. 70 amp fast charge, which is awesome, and a 40 amp 6 volt fast charge. And it also does the smaller side of things. So this will do a 30 amp and a 4 amp 12. That to me was very appealing, as well as there is a timer on this thing, so you can actually put it up to 120 minutes. And that's, it'll shut itself off. How cool is that? So let me get this thing unwrapped. Let me just start off by showing you the box this thing came in. Whenever I first saw this was upside down, so the arrows were obviously facing down. It says fragile, but I mean, look at this. This thing has gone through the ringer. I bought this from Jegs. I like Jegs. I've dealt a lot with them over the years. I'm not sure if this was the carrier that shipped this thing here, or if this was just the way this thing looked in the warehouse before I bought it. But anyway, I opened this already because I had a feeling I was going to be sending this thing back due to damage, but it's all right, long story short. If any of you guys are techies like me, here's a few quick facts. The AC cord is 6 foot long, 14 gauge. The leads coming out of the machine are 6 foot, and they're 6 gauge. Pretty darn big leads. This thing has 7-inch hard wheels, which look kind of cool. And also, let's see, it's got a handle on there. The thing weighs 47 pounds. So there it is, just a quick breakdown. Some assembly required. This is a handle that comes with the machine. I assume that just slips right down in there. I'll get that thing on and show you what it looks like. One thing I wanted to note about this battery charger is the paint job on this thing and the quality of that paint job. I mean, look at this thing. There is not a run in sight. That is gloss black. Gloss black is one of the hardest colors to paint. And yeah, there's a little orange peel on this thing, but I never thought I'd be even talking about orange peel when it came to a battery charger. Like, this thing is someone did a really nice job. I mean, you can see me in the reflection there. This thing has a really nice paint job. I was really surprised I mean, obviously you can see I got dust on there. It's been in the shop here for a little while now. But, I mean, that is incredible. The paint on this thing, I was just blown away by that. I thought that was pretty bizarre for a battery charger to have such a nice paint job. But either way, you know, that's nice. That's awesome. Makes for a good looking piece in the shop. Now, I wanted to show you guys, sometimes manufacturers kind of lie a little bit about the lengths of the cords. You know, they'll say they have a 6-foot cord. It ends up being like 4.5 foot. But check this out. There's my tape measure. As you can see, 6 foot from the battery charger. These cords are well within that 6-foot range. And they also advertised the power cord to be 6 foot. But check this out. So, as you can see, the 6-foot mark right there, I'd say I've got at least 8 feet worth of cord here. So that is definitely nice. And also, I wanted to show you guys, there is a case fan here, which is going to help cool this thing. A lot of times that transformer will get real hot, and these louvers here are going to help that air flow through this thing, and that will increase the length or the lifespan of this thing greatly. So the cables here that actually go to the battery are 6 gauge, so they're nice and strong, and they're actually, if you can see in there, they're actually stranded, very similar to your welding leads. I don't like the clamp itself. It's perfectly adequate. I was just hoping it would have a bonded jaw here, which I guess it doesn't really need one. It would have just been kind of a cool feature. I was hoping the clamp would look more like this. Got a nice heavy power cord. Should be perfect for a 20 amp circuit. So I've got a dedicated 20 amp outlet here. Let's try this machine out. Alright, so let's just turn this thing on. It sounds just like my Lincoln MIG welder. You can feel airflow through the case. So that's good. That means this puppy should stay pretty cool. And that transformer should last a long time. It's pretty loud, actually. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just kind of... it is what it is. Let's hook this thing up to a battery and see what happens. So here's the battery that was out of my Suburban. This is just an 800 cold cranking amp battery. Pretty much your typical 5.3 Chevy is going to have this battery. So the battery charger is off, and here you can read the voltage that that battery is producing. So let's make sure it's on 12 volt. Let's do a 4 amp charge. See what happens. Here you can see the amp gauge really isn't moving all that much. So that battery's, I think that battery is pretty close to being topped off on a charge. Can we change this while it's... yes, we can. So that's a 30 amp charge. You can see the amp gauge just bounced up a little bit. So now the battery's pulling right around 10 amps. So let's see what happens, I guess. The reason why manual battery chargers are becoming obsolete is because you have to be there to tend the battery. As you can see here, manual operation must be monitored. And what I mean by that is, if you could hear this battery, it's starting to sizzle. The noise itself is fine. That happens whenever you're electrolyzing these batteries. Basically, the acid is reacting with the plates that are in this battery, and it's getting a lot of energy through it right now. So these things can actually be pretty dangerous if you overcharge them. So most manufacturers don't want to make one of these manual battery chargers just because of the liability associated with them, because people are dumb and they overcharge batteries. I hate to say it, but that's what happens, and then they turn around and sue the companies and they make all kinds of money. But as you can see, this thing is making a really good connection, and you know, that battery is pretty darn close to being topped off, as it's only drawing, according to this gauge, right around like 6 amps. So usually whenever a battery is low, it'll draw quite a bit more amperage at the beginning. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, if you leave this thing unattended, bad things could happen. I guess that's also why they put this timer on here. They figure that you can at least, you know, put it on a low time setting and not have to worry about it. So here we are. This thing just timed out. Now you can see the voltage on this battery is in the green, and they say the green is charged. You know, if I put that battery obviously was pretty decent to begin with. But let me see if I can find a bad battery or one that is really weak. So just to double check that gauge on the machine, here we are, 12.3 volts. That was pretty much right in range. So here we have another battery. This actually is out of my John Deere front mower. Well, let's try another 30 amp charge on this one. That one also is only drawing right around 5-6 amps. That one I think was actually pretty good, so I don't even know if that one needs a charge or not. Alright, so here we are. I have a 6-volt battery that came out of my Ford 8N. I think this is kind of a bad battery, so let's see what happens whenever we turn this one on. There you go. See, this one is pulling 20 amps. That's quite a bit, and typically a battery with a good charge won't pull that much. So this one is definitely needing a charge, but actually I think this battery's junk. This thing is almost 15 years old, so I just wanted to show you guys what it actually looks like when this thing does pull a good charge. Got it on engine start. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. That was the fastest thing this thing has ever cranked over. Come on, old girl. Ooh, there's life here. So that was a great test for this thing. Part of the reason why I got this machine was because I got a lot of old tractors that are 6 volt, and not a lot of chargers these days have the engine start feature, which that was 150 amp 6 volt that started that tractor, and that was just awesome. I've never heard that tractor turn over as that fast. It just doesn't happen, but that thing gives plenty of juice. I hate using that term because it sounds so dumb, but this thing gives plenty of current to that battery, so that was awesome. I'm very happy with just that one experiment so far. All right, guys, so this machine here, this John Deere, battery's getting dead on this one, so let's give it a boost. Oh, let's see, 12 volt. Let's give it, how about a 30 amp? Try that first. Okay, we're gonna see if we can get this Land Cruiser fired up. This thing's pretty darn clean. One of my customers' vehicles. Check it out. They did the interior all over and everything. This is actually one of the, I think it's a 235 or something. It's one of the early Chevy 6-cylinders that they put in here. It's got the dual carburetors. It's also got the split manifolds. I don't know if you can see that or not. But this thing's kind of a hot rod for what it is. It's a 3-speed on the column. Anyway, I'll show you guys this thing getting started. Fires right up. This thing's really clean. I like this vehicle. So it's been about 6 months since I've owned this battery charger, and I use this thing more frequently than I thought I was going to whenever I bought this. So I use this probably at least once a week. I didn't think I was going to use it that much at all, to be honest with you. I've jumped equipment, big trucks, small trucks, little cars, big cars. I've jumped pretty much anything you can shake a stick at. I've charged a lot of batteries with this thing. It's an awesome charger. Now, these guys, they haven't helped me in any way. I bought this with my own money. I researched the product. I found it. I ordered it all on my own. I didn't have any outside influence to help me with it. This is truly one of those products that I have that I think you guys would like if you're in the market for a really good manual battery charger. This is definitely the one to have. I've used other battery chargers in the past. A lot of them are really gimmicky, like the newer automatic ones. I'd just stay away from those things. But anyway, I just figured I'd make a video about this thing just to kind of show you something that I use that actually works. And that's kind of all the reviews that I do, is just the tools that I actually use myself. I'm not just pushing crap on you guys. So anyway, I'm going to end the video right here, guys, and just wanted to give you an update on this battery charger because I think it's great. And I'm sure if anyone needs a good battery charger, these are still available. So there you go.